Oh, live. Drop frames. 46%, 68%. Please, please don't drop. I'm waiting for the drop frames to go down. It really doesn't look that good. 89% drops frames. Flip. Anyway, I'm gonna go on anyhow. Um, Stop streaming. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Elias, and today we're gonna do, stream is healthy, stream's good. Alright. Hello everyone, my name is Elias. Today we're gonna do some tourism, and surprisingly, although it is tourism, we are going to cover some marketing concepts. We're going to cover the effect of climate change, but don't worry, there is some tourism concepts we still have to do, such as attractions, such as national parks, such as the advantages of domestic tourism, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to figure out a few technical difficulties really quickly. But while we're doing that, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not going to be covering maps right now. Reason why is because I can't really show you a map right now. So on camera, and also I'm in the midst of fixing technical difficulties at the moment. So, but anyway, without further ado, without any other delay, let's just start. Okay. So the first concept that I'm going to be covering tonight is the effect of global warming on attractions. So now, the isn't mentioned in the textbook, and I couldn't find any. But if you do find it in perhaps the workbook or whatever, please let me know. So global warming's effects on attractions, I basically mentioned three things. So sea levels, the air pollution, and the more frequent natural disasters. So, in terms of sea levels, now the rise of sea levels will obviously result in the loss of many beaches, and not only beaches but beach resorts as well, and also the all those houses along the seaside. Some of those could be even like bed and breakfasts. So those will also be lost, and not only that, many jobs will be lost as well. So sea levels will obviously have a major impact on um, so the rising sea levels, sorry, I'm repeating myself here. The rising sea levels will obviously have a major impact on the beaches, basically the tourism industry, which is based on the shoreline. So when they ask you about how the sea levels have an effect on tourism or the tourism industry, just think of the beach and think about how all of those businesses and all of those people and all those houses that work along the beach, all of them are all of those businesses and all of those people are going to lose their jobs and their livelihoods. In terms of the air pollution, this isn't mentioned in the textbook, just bear that in mind. Um, in terms of air pollution, sometimes if a place is too polluted with sometimes if the air in a particular place is too polluted, then the tourists won't actually come and visit your place or visit your attraction or visit your city. So say for example, take Delhi in India right now. Delhi in India is having one of the worst air pollution levels in the world, and that could actually deter potential tourists coming to India. Not only international tourists but also domestic tourists as well. So a lot of people are avoiding Delhi at this moment because of the air pollution there. So air pollution will definitely have a big impact on your establishment. And in terms of natural disasters and extreme weather, there is speculation that climate change has a major effect on how extreme weather occurs or on how often it occurs. So the more extreme weather that happens, say for example, more extreme hurricanes, more extreme tornadoes, it will potentially destroy the infrastructure of a particular tourist destination. Okay, now we got global warming covered. Let's talk about some of the attractions. Now, Miss our Sir luckily shortlisted 3 provinces. Well, I'm going to shortlist them even more. I'm only going to mention a few attractions, not all of the attractions. Um, Obviously, you should have studied already, so I'm just gonna go over a few attractions, not all of them. Okay, so we start off in the Eastern Cape with the Addo Elephant National Park. The Addo Elephant National Park has an ecosystem which is home to more than 450 elephants and also species such as the Cape buffalo and the black rhino. It is also home to marine life, especially penguins. And the Addo National Elephant Park is also home to wildlife. We'll mention this again when it comes to national parks. Now, the Grahamstown National Arts Festival. The Grahamstown National Arts Festival is a festival where there's a lot of music, dance, and dramas going on for about a week, and it occurs in Grahamstown. That's basically all you need to know for that, basically. And the Blowkrans River Bridge, let me repeat that again. The Blowkrans River Bridge is home to the world's highest bungee jump, and that is also situated in the Eastern Cape. Moving on to the west side now, Western Cape. Now, the Western Cape has quite a few attractions. This one is relatively easy. Table Mountain. Table Mountain is one of the most iconic. Um, Table Mountain is one of the most iconic landmarks in the Western Cape. Now, some of the things you can do on Table Mountain, you can ride the cable car and have 360-degree views of Cape Town. You can go and dine at the restaurant on top of the mountain, and there's also hiking trails along Table Mountain. Now, there's also the Table Mountain National Park, which I will talk about when we get to the national parks. We also have the V&A Waterfront. The V&A Waterfront is also a tourist attraction. It's home to the Two Oceans Aquarium. Tourists can go and uh, look at the local arts and crafts there. They can go shopping at the malls. They can also find accommodation at the V&A Waterfront. And I think all of us, you do right in tomorrow, has visited the waterfront. So when it does come up, just think about all the attractions, all the things you can do at the waterfront. Now, obviously, another attraction in the Western Cape is the famous Robben Island. Robben Island was, as we all know, and as we all should know, Robben Island was home to um, former President Nelson Mandela. It was also used as a political prison for political prisoners of apartheid. But ever before that, it was first an exile for from people who suffered from lepers and also mental illness. And the Kaka in Ka, um, that is an Afrikaans arts festival which is usually held in March and April. As my understanding, it's basically the Afrikaans version of the Grahamstown Arts Festival. But don't quote me on that. That's just for studying tourism purposes only. Now we move on to the Northern Cape. Now the Northern Cape is home to the Kimberley Big Hole. The Big Hole was originally dug for diamonds, and it is the largest excavation in the world. Then we also have the Namakwa National Park. The Namakwa National Park is home to many wildflowers. These flowers usually pop up between uh, mid-August and September, and it brings the entire desert landscape to life. The Northern Cape also has the South African Large Telescope, also known as SALT. It is held in Sutherland, and Sutherland is a very important astronomical observatory in the southern hemisphere. And that's basically most of the attractions. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, go over all of the attractions in the textbook. I didn't go over all of them because I didn't feel there was necessary to go over all of them to be honest with you. But those are just the most, in my opinion, the most important ones. Let me just lift my mic up. I have one message coming in on WhatsApp. Everyone. Okay, so Jonathan's saying here, tourism is easy, fam. Let me just show my screen quickly. Um, okay, can't see WhatsApp. Let me just read the message out. It says here, Jonathan Zen, tourism is easy, fam. I had business studies questions in my exam. They asked us what's the 4 P's of marketing law. First of all, it's 5 P's, Jonathan. It's 5 P's, not 4 P's. And Edel said exactly, everyone knows where their house is. And Edel Alexander said, 4 of the same curse word that I cannot say on air. Anyway, keep your messages coming through on the Art Audience WhatsApp group or in the YouTube chat or Twitch chat. I am watching the chat here. So anyway, as I was saying, now let's move on to the national parks. Okay, so oh flip, I just exit. Anyway, it's fine. Okay, so the Krug. Now let's go on to the Kruger National Park. The Kruger National Park is all of the big 5 animals. So if you remember, the big 5 animals would be your lion, your leopard, your buffalo, your elephant, and your rhinoceros. So all of your notes. Jonathan's and anyway, so that's the Kruger National Park for you, home to all of the big 5. The Kruger National Park is also home to the largest number of species in the world. I find that fact hard to believe, but it's in the textbook, so you're just gonna have to write it anyway. The Kruger National Park is also home to 6 ecosystems, and it has one of the most biodiverse habitats of the entire world. So, let's go on to the Bonteheuwel National Park. Now, the Bonteheuwel National Park is a part of the Cape Floral Kingdom. It also has endangered fynbos, and also it has, okay, listen to this, coastal Rhinosterveld fauna. Let me repeat that again. Coastal Rhinosterveld fauna. Actually, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna just write it anyway, guys. Write it anyway, fam. So, and then the last point of the Bonteheuwel National Park is that there's always something to in bloom. Which is, I don't know why they said that. They just said that, just to write it in. I'm just gonna open my chat here quickly. Okay, so the Table Mountain National Park. Again, I said it's going to come up again. Just remember that national parks and tourist attractions can be the same thing. Okay, so Table Mountain National Park it has beautiful valleys, beaches, and bays. Because remember, the Table Mountain National Park isn't just Table Mountain, isn't just a mountain. It can be bays. It can also be the beaches. It can also be that little hiking trails. I remember in the Table Mountain National Park when we went to go Brady. So it isn't just the mountain. It's the entire place. Beautiful valleys, beaches, and bays. Diverse flora and fauna. Remember this. Flora refers to plant life, and fauna refers to animals. Remember that. That might come up in a multiple choice question or a definition question. So just remember, fauna means for animals, and flora means for plant life. So then also scenic and recreational activities to do there as well. So the Table Mountain National Park, obviously very scenic, very beautiful, and you can also do lots of recreational lots of recreational activities there as well. So now we go on to the West Coast National Park. The West Coast National Park is home to lots of wildlife. There's an activity you can do there known as birding, and there's also seabirds you can watch over there. There's lots of wildflowers on along the west coast, and the Langaba, and it isn't mentioned in the summarized notes that Russell gave to us, but the Langaban Lagoon there's something called the Langaban Lagoon, which is also a wetland, and that's also home to a lot of wildlife over there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then we also have the Namakwa National Park. The Namakwa National Park, as we mentioned earlier, is in the Northern Cape. During August and September, wildflowers appear. I said that before. Um, the Tsitsikama National Park, um, it has marine life, has fynbos, there's also forests there, and there's also the lovely ocean which you can enjoy. And that's all the national parks. I didn't go through the private game reserves. Just know where they are the just know where they are located. Um, yeah, because let me actually get my book out, my tourism book, because in the summarized scope that we got, it says here, doesn't really say. It says here luxury game reserves position on a map. So I'm guessing that you don't need to know that. The only thing that I can tell you here is the difference between a luxury game reserve and a national park. Here are the difference between them. Basically, a national park is run by a company called, well, not a company, but an organization called Sandparks, South African National Parks. It is run by government, basically, and also it is publicly funded by taxpayer money. Whereas a private game reserve is privately owned, not run by government at all, and the visitors have to pay for it, not taxpayers, us. Okay, you know what? The light's a bit dark. I just noticed here on my monitor right now. Stay tuned. I'll be back shortly. Actually, let me put something here. I think this is a bit better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Got a new WhatsApp message. I don't think these guys are watching the stream. Um, let me just reply to this. Anyway, continuing to the one person that's watching on YouTube. Also live on Twitch, by the way. Twitch.tv/Elias the Reporter. Okay, so continuing with the advantages of domestic tourism. I didn't mention every single advantage of domestic tourism. I just mentioned some of them. Okay, so we have the economic benefits, we have the social benefits, and we also have the environmental benefits of domestic tourism. Is my stream doing okay? It's doing okay. Drop frames 88.4. 5%, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, so economic benefits. Locals, the locals of that particular destination can sell crafts to tourists. This can also encourage locals to become entrepreneurs, thus creating jobs. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say it's like my favorite person. Locals can sell crafts to international tourists. They can encourage locals to become entrepreneurs, thus creating jobs. Tourists can stay busy during quiet hours, and it can increase tourism for businesses that don't only rely on international tour. I'm just okay. So let me start that from over. Tourist businesses or tourism businesses can stay busy during quiet hours. Now, what is quiet hours? Quiet hours would be the times when tourism isn't that popular. So you have to understand that international tourism is based on seasons. So, say for example, in northern hemisphere, perhaps certain tourists will only come during the summer holidays or the winter holidays, or in the southern hemisphere, they will only visit during the summer or winter. You know, so therefore, international tourism is very seasonal. Now, when international tourists don't come visit, this is what you would call quiet days or quiet hours, whatever you want to call it. So domestic tourism can actually keep tourism operators busy during these quiet days. And also tourism businesses don't actually have to rely on international tourism for an income. And this can also encourage locals to become entrepreneurs and thus creating jobs, and locals can also sell their crafts to international tourists or local tourists, whatever you prefer. Now, the social benefits of domestic tourism. Let's move on to the social benefits. There is an increase of pride amongst the locals. So what that means is, if you get those people be like, oh, South Africa is not a really great place to be in. So if you allow them to actually explore the country as a domestic tourist, you can actually make them proud to be a South African. And the money, now also another point mentioned here, is that the money can also be used to improve people's lives and also infrastructure. Now what I mean by that is that the money generated from there can also be used as taxes, which can in turn be used to improve hospitals, can be improved to build better schools, can be used to make the roads much better, and in turn can actually be used to improve people's lives as well. And also that money that tourism businesses get, they can actually expand the business and employ more people. Okay, that's creating more jobs, and more people jobs means that more people off the streets, more people having homes, more people having money to buy food. That's improving people's lives. But if you want a shortened version of that, money generated can be used to improve people's lives and infrastructure. Now, locals can also preserve their culture and also can share their culture with others. That's another point. People, the local people of whatever place, can preserve their culture and also share their culture with others. Domestic tourism can also help us understand each other. So in this country, unfortunately, some of us, actually a lot of us, really have a general judgment of how people from other cultures are, and unfortunately, many of those judgments are just assumptions based without fact. If now domestic tourism can actually eliminate that, so so you can actually go to a certain place or certain people and chat with them, and so you can leave, and in turn you will have a better understanding of them. Now, the environmental benefit of domestic tourism. Now, certain places, if tourists visited, no, I'm back. I'm here. Anyway, now certain places will have its environment protected if visitors visit it very often. So obviously the more interest the place gets, the more it will be protected. Now money generated will also go into um, the money generated from domestic tourism can also go towards nature conservation projects. So say for example, let's take a national park for example, because a lot of this paper is about national parks. If enough visitors visit a national park, that money will be used to maybe perhaps stop rhino poaching, stop um, try to minimize the effects of climate change on a particular national park. And if enough tourists visit a beach, for example, perhaps there will be enough money to um, fund a cleanup project on the beach, to clean up the litter on the beach, and to perhaps help the penguins on that particular beach if there are any. So that's how the money generated can actually help nature conservation projects, and also the local people there will become more aware of the natural environment, and thus it yeah, and the local people become aware of protecting their local environment, and thus it's a win-win situation for everybody, for nature and for the people. And oh yes, since I I thought this would be a really good transition, heritage sites. So now in the revised scope, it asks us to state what is a local heritage site and what is a national heritage site. Now, a local heritage site is a site which has a very large significance for a specific community, not the entire country, just a small community. So, a local heritage site, just to repeat myself, is a site which has significance for a specific community in a local area. It is looked after by the local people, and an example of a local heritage site could be perhaps the could be a monument. No, no, not a monument. That's a terrible example. Could be a I'm just gonna say a shrine. It can be a shrine or a burial place of someone who was a leader of the community, and or someone that was really active in the community. And that's all I can tell you. That's the only example I can give you of a local heritage site. Just say if they ask you to give an example of a local heritage site, just say the the grave of a local community hero. Now an example of a national heritage site. First, let me define it. These are significant for an entire country, and it's also looked after by the SHRA. I don't know what that means. Let me just Google it really quickly. Is wait no, SAHRA, and basically the SH no, what that um okay, the now a international sorry a national heritage site is looked after by the South African Heritage Resources Agency. Back shortly. My microphone is turned off. Thank you, Clone77, for telling me that my microphone is turned off. Thank you so much. Thank you. I only saw this at 5 minutes. I only saw this like right now. Thank you for telling me that. I have to go over all the things that I've been ranting about over again. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry. My microphone is turned off. My mic was turned off and I didn't even see the audio monitor. The audio monitor said that there was audio coming through, so I assumed there was audio coming through. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how long it was off. Let me just go over some. Where did I stop? Okay, this is where. Let me just check. Cloud77, if you're watching. I'm sorry, Clone77. Sorry, Clone77, if you're watching. This is what I mentioned through all that white noise. In the chat, can you please tell me if you can hear me? I really appreciate that. The advantages and disadvantages of a laptop. The advantages of a laptop is it's portable. You can use it everywhere. It's productive. You can work anywhere where a PC cannot fit. So you can work in a cafe. You can work in I don't know, with a car, the basement, your friend's house. And also, you can get immediate access to your files. So there's no need to wait for a Word to access your Word document or Excel document. It's on your laptop. And also the size of it, it's really small and really compact. Disadvantages of it though, it can be a bit pricey. The performance is only for specialized use, so you only get some laptops for gaming and you only get some laptops for working with Word documents. And then in terms of overheating, sometimes a laptop can melt and overheat. Also, you have lots of bodily strain when using a laptop. So then we also have the ethical way of answering emails. So the ethical way of I'm just going to mention some tips. So answer as soon as possible. Make sure that you use a meaningful subject for your emails. Always be concise and straight to the point when answering emails or sending emails. Avoid using all capitals because people might think that you're shouting. Always use proper spelling and punctuation when writing emails. Avoid sending unnecessary attachments. So for example, if you're sending a graph of the latest sales, avoid sending the picture of your dog as well. Beware of sending any viruses. Don't send any racist or sexist content, even if it is a joke. Don't forward any chain mail, and don't reply to any spam. Then we also have marketing. So we have what is a core market and what is a niche market. A core market is a group of customers that makes up the majority. So, and then we also have a niche market, which is a small segment of the company's core market that has specific needs. So a core market is your majority of customers, and a niche market is a small group of customers that also has specific needs as well. You have the 5 P's of production. The 5 P's of production would be product, promotion, price, place, and people. Let me actually take this off right now. That there. There we go. So the 5 P's of production would be your product, promotion, price, place, and people. The difference between a want and a need is something you cannot do without, and it cannot be created with marketing. Whereas a want, you have a desire for something and it has to be created by marketing. A need, something that you can do without, but it cannot be created by marketing. A want, something that you don't really need. It's something that you must desire, and it must be something that must be created by marketing. Here we have the advantages of providing good service. Providing good service basically means you get more money especially and it will mean that a customer is confident and spend more money on the company's products and services. The business will receive a good reputation if you have a good service, because as you know, all customers spread rumors. All of them spread rumors and leave Amazon reviews. Um, yeah, businesses will get a good reputation, and customers will say good things about you if you provide a good service, and customers will say bad things about you if you provide a bad service. There will be increased customer satisfaction, there will be customer loyalty, and and you will also be engaged and rewarded employees. That is what the textbook said, not my words. And oh yeah, that's it. Thank you. And also, oh yes. Before I say thank you, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. That happened when the mic went off. Let me just left click on this quickly and transform it so it's seen to the screen. There it is. On this side over here, we see, those are the different capital cities of all the provinces. So I'm going to read through them quickly. The capital of the Eastern Cape is Pishu, the capital of the Western Cape is Cape Town, the capital of the Free State is Bloemfontein, the capital of the Northern Cape is Kimberley, the capital of Mpumalanga is Mbombela, the capital of Gauteng is Johannesburg, the capital of Limpopo is Polokwane, the capital of the Northwest is Mahikeng, the capital of KwaZulu-Natal is Pietermaritzburg. And also the neighboring countries of South Africa would be Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. Phew. I was studying the whole day, guys. I was studying the whole day. Thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. Thank you so much to Clone77 for telling me that my mic was off. And thank you for everyone who tuned in. I'm Elias the Reporter. I really need like a cool tagline. I've been streaming for around about an hour. Thank you for watching. Good evening.